Let's break down the most common traps people fall into when practicing its self-awareness exercise based on Advaita Vedanta. Mistake 1. Forcing yourself to stop thinking. This is what people do. Have you ever tried a self-awareness or self-inquiry exercise based on Advaita Vedanta and ended up feeling more stressed than when you started? If so, you are not alone. The mistakes you can make, and almost everyone does this at first, is trying to stop your thoughts forcefully. The problem: you think self-awareness exercise or self-inquiry is about thinking, no thought, or become 100% silent, due to which you end up giving a lot of energy to stop thinking that leads to frustration. When you resist your thoughts, your mind actually becomes more active. You are giving those thoughts energy by fighting them. And because you can't force the mind to just shut off on command, your frustration increases. You end up feeling like you are failing at the exercise. The correction. So, what is the correction? How do we fix this? It requires a very simple shift in perspective. You are not here to stop your thoughts. You are simply here to notice them. That's it. Whenever you start thinking about any thought, you need to just observe your thought or notice what kind of thoughts are popping up in your mind. Thoughts are a natural function of the mind, which you can stop. Your only job in self-awareness is to see them clearly as an observer without fighting them. Stop fighting the mind. Just watch it. Mistake 2. People think self-awareness is a meditation. This is what people do. Moving on to the second trap, and this is a huge one, and people end up turning self-awareness into a concentration exercise. This is what happens when you fall into this trap. First, you try too hard to focus. Then you push your attention by force. It feels like your mind is squeezing itself just to hold on to one feeling. The problem. Here is the problem. When you try too hard to focus, your attention and body immediately feel stressed. That is the sign you have already left self-awareness. You are just doing basic concentration that people do in meditation, which is completely different thing. The correction. So here is how we fix this. Self-awareness is not about focusing hard on something. It is not some kind of meditation where you need to concentrate on your mind. It is about simply noticing what is already there. Or you could say self-awareness is about observation or presence of mind. For example, most of the people, when they go from one room to another, they don't notice how many steps they have taken, or what is the color design of the door, or what are the things present in the room. They go from one room to another while they're lost in their mind. Next time, when you go from one room to another, you need to have a presence of mind while doing this. Start noticing your surrounding or total focus in doing this task. Mistake 3. People want instant results. This is what people do. Here is exactly what happens. You start doing the self-inquiry exercise, and after just a very short time, you come up with this thought. I did it for 3 days and nothing happened. You sit there waiting for some sudden fireworks, a magical feeling, or an immediate breakthrough. The problem with this mindset is that your very expectation blocks the observation. When your mind is busy anticipating a specific result or grading how well you're doing, you are no longer just neutrally observing. The expectation itself becomes a massive wall standing in the way of true self-awareness. The correction. It is not an overnight magic trick. This realization deepens gradually over time. You have to drop the timeline. Stop waiting for something to happen and just allow the process to unfold naturally. Self-awareness is about a shift in habit or character. This exercise changes how you act or think. For example, becoming a more patient person or stopping a bad habit. Your personality changes, but you still think of yourself as the same person. Self-awareness is about a shift in identity, which means it helps in changing who you think you are. It means moving away from believing that I am this body, this personality, and these thoughts. And instead, you start realizing I am the silent awareness that is observing these thoughts. When I say shift in identity, I don't just mean changing a bad habit or improving character. I mean fundamentally realizing that you are not the loud voice in your head. You're the quiet awareness watching it. That is why it's not a quick 5 minutes experience. Experiences come and go, but realizing who you actually are takes time to sink in. Mistake 4: looking for a spatial experience or subtle ego trap. I got it. This is what people do. People expect some kind of spatial experiences like bliss, light, silence, spiritual feeling. People also started getting trapped into ego when they think that they are now understand awareness. The problem: awareness is not some kind of magic that you would get a spiritual effect that you see in the movie after practicing self-awareness exercise or self-inquiry. There are some people whose ego takes ownership of awareness after they realize what exactly self-awareness is. The I that is saying, I got it, or I am aware, is just another thought. Your ego is basically hijacking your breakthrough and turning awareness into a personal achievement. The correction: awareness is already present. It's not dramatic. It's the most normal thing. Awareness is not something you possess, it is not yours. When the thought, I finally get it, pops into your head, the instruction is to step back. This means you treat that specific aha thought exactly the same way you would treat a thought about what to eat for dinner. You don't judge it, you don't celebrate it, you don't claim it as a prize, you simply watch it float by a cloud in the sky. By watching it instead of identifying with it, you remain as the silent observer of the awareness itself. Mistake 5: overanalyzing everything. This is what people do. Here is exactly what happens. You sit down to do the practice, and your brain immediately tries to figure it out. Your mind starts asking questions like, am I doing it right? Or, is this what awareness feels like? Or, what is happening right now? You start treating the exercise like a test you need to pass. Problem is, when you do this, you stay completely stuck in thinking. You cannot think your way into awareness. Every time you stop to ask, am I doing this correctly? That is just another thought keeping you trapped in your head. You end up analyzing the practice instead of actually doing it. The correction: when you are lost in a daydream or trying to solve a puzzle, your awareness is zoom in and tangled up in the thoughts. Stepping back means shifting your perspective from being the thinker to being the watcher. For example, if you're sitting for lunch, then instead of indulging in overthinking that you are eating right or wrong, or is this food good for you or not, you just need to stop indulging in overthinking and just notice or observe how you are eating. Feel the taste of the food. When you're gulping food, observe that action. Just notice it. Don't indulge in judging. In this way, you are moving from the stage to the audience seat. You are just watching the mind do its thing without getting involved in the plot. Mistake 6: only practicing while sitting. This is what people do. This is the most common trap that every beginner does. They think self-awareness exercise or self-inquiry can be done in a meditative state or only practicing while you are sitting down. This is completely wrong perception about self-awareness exercise. The correction: self-awareness exercise is about noticing and observing your action, thought, your surrounding, or whatever you can feel, sense, see, taste, and smell. You can practice this exercise anywhere in any situation, including when you are stressed, talking, eating, running, or while facing a problem. Let me give you a simple example of how this looks in a real conversation. Imagine you are talking to someone, and this is something that criticizes you or completely contradicts your beliefs. Without awareness, your ego immediately takes over. You feel a hot flash or defensiveness in your chest. You get angry and you instantly snap back with a harsh reply to defend yourself. You are completely lost in the reaction, With self awareness, the exact same situation happens, but your response changes. They criticize you, and that same feeling of defensiveness starts to rise up. But instead of instantly becoming angry, you step back and notice it. You think, look at my mind feeling defensive right now. Because you notice it. Instead of becoming it, the anger loses its power. You can then take a breath and choose to reply calmly rather than just reacting blindly. That is bringing self awareness into real life. Well, I have made more videos related to self awareness. You can find the link in the description below. Videos link self awareness affirmation and examples of self awareness so that you can comprehend it clearly. I hope this video must have helped you in some way. If you gained something out of it, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can support this channel financially by buying any product from my merch store. The link is given in the description and about page.